Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas from Great Stamping with Connie, and we are here for another crafting adventure, or maybe a technology adventure. Although I do believe I am live now. I had funny things happening as I was trying to set this up again. You have to put in, the title of your event and a description. It works every single time. I've never had a problem with it. And today I just got gray on my screen and no boxes to fill in. Anyway, so I started over and I saw a funny screen that has caused us grief in the past, but I got past that and then the box came up just fine. So what was wrong with it, 10 minutes ago? I have no idea. It's technology, right? It is there to drive me bonkers, and it's been doing such a great job at that the last week or so. Anyway, never mind that. Why why don't we move on to something better? Um, like saying hello. Do say hello if you are here watching me live. Let me know that you are here. And if you are watching the replay, let me know. Love to know that you stopped by and there, I've just got it up on the other device, and even though there's a bit of glare from my lights and things, I think I will be able to see that if people are joining us and commenting and that. So today, something a little bit special, or something a little bit different, at least. I have a full class, a free online class for you. I have 4 cards that I'm going to make, and I will go through them with you, show you how I put them together, give you the measurements and stuff, and then you can watch this video again if you like, because I'm sure you haven't cut anything because I didn't tell you in advance. But you can cut the pieces and you can craft along with a replay of the video. Or if you prefer, you can get a whole card kit for free. You could get the tutorial for free. You can get an extra gift from me, all for placing an order. So super easy. If you place an order with me between now and next Wednesday, so end of day next Wednesday, which is, oh, I think, did I write it down? I did. Wednesday, August 6th. Look at that. I'm actually, I actually made some notes about all this because I knew I wouldn't keep it all up here. So if you place any order between now and next Wednesday, August 6th, I will send you the PDF tutorial absolutely free as my thank you. And if your order is $45 or more, I will also send you a kit of all the paper products that you need to make the 4 cards that I'm going to share with you. And if your order is over $65, I will send you the tutorial and the card kit and half a pack of the mix and match ephemera, which I'm going to use on the cards today. So if you don't order the ephemera or you don't earn the ephemera, you can use whatever sentiments you have. But I wanted to share this fabulous, quick and easy way to get great sentiments for your cards. So that's what I'm doing, and I'd like to share it with you as a thank you for placing an order with me. Alrighty, shall we get to crafting? Did I tell you what we were using? We are using the sunflower embossing folder. It's incredible. When you see it, I think you will fall in love with it, as so many people have. Certainly I have. And there's so many things you can do with this. It's uh it's a really great addition to our product line. So let's get started with our first card. So this is the embossing folder. Can you see that? Big, bold, beautiful sunflowers that are just spectacular. And the embossing is very quite deep. It is a 3D embossing folder, which means it's a little bit deeper than just some of our regular folders. Most of our folders these days are 3D, and so they've got this really fabulous, rich, deep, textured embossing that they do, and certainly this is one of them. Okay, just bring in a piece of scrap paper, and I am going to, now I didn't get all of my inks and things out because I've been been a creative flurry around here. So bear with me while I get some things out as we go along. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, that's crushed curry. This is crushed curry cardstock, and I'm going to use crushed curry ink and whoops, guess you can't see that because it's not in the camera, and a blending brush. I am also going to use early espresso and a sponge dauber. So I am going to start with my sponge dauber and I'm going to put just some little bit of dark brown for on the centers of my sunflower. And you could use a blending brush for this. I just have a little bit better control with a sponge dauber, so I thought I would use that. So, hey, Barbara, welcome. Glad to see you're tuning in. So this piece of cardstock is 5 1/4 by 4, and it is embossed. Now, if you place an order of $45 or more and you get this kit, the kit will include this cardstock and it will be embossed for you already. So you don't need to worry um, about that or even so much the sizing, but there it is. If you are not placing an order and you want to make it, this is 5 1/4 by 4, and I am just adding some early espresso ink to the flower centers. Now, when this is one of our large embossing folders, so every time you emboss with it, chances are your cardstock's going to be in a little different place, and that's okay because it's all lovely. So sometimes you have different flower centers, sometimes you have different, um, more leaves, less leaves, whatever. So, okay, blending brush, and I am just coming in here with this crushed curry just to darken the sunflower a little bit, add some extra color to my flower petals. Probably could have used a little re-inker on my crushed curry. Oh, or maybe just a little more pressure with my blending brush because there we're getting a little more color coming in. Always better to start with it lighter rather than darker anyway, but I don't use crushed curry a whole lot, but it is a perfect color for sunflowers. Although sunflowers grow in many different colors, including today. Oh, blue. Yes. Wait until I show you what's in my garden of sunflowers today. With card making, it can be anything. It doesn't have to be exactly as nature puts it out initially. We can take creative liberties with our crafting, can't we? What keeps things interesting and and lets me get away with doing wild things sometimes. But we have so many great colors. I just have to use more of them. So you can add as much or as little ink to your sunflowers as you want. Now I haven't done, oh, there's a little bit of sunflower over there. I haven't done anything with the leaves, to be honest, because I forgot about that part. I think I might just add a little bit of green to just put a green tone on those. So let me grab another. Do I have oh, I don't have a green blending brush here. Interesting. I do have a clean blending brush though. Actually, I have a few. I only need one. And I think maybe garden green. I just want to give it a little bit of a green hue. You don't want it to be too too bold. Mini blending brushes. Fabulous. Oh, not mini, small. Small blending brushes. You can get regular size or small. They both do exactly the same job. Sort of personal preference. The small ones are a little bit less expensive, but not a whole lot. So if you like the feel of the bigger brush, or you plan to do lots of larger areas, the big one can be handy, but the small one works just as well. They come in a pack of 3. So that was a new pack you saw me breaking into there. So I'm just adding just a hint of green here. Could have used a sponge dauber as well. Um, it's that controlling the color thing, right? But we're being brave. We're using the blending brush, so it will be fine. I'm just hitting the raised area here with the blending brush, obviously, because it is all little bristles. If you go, you can see I've gone over the lines there a little bit, and it's down into the background. So if you are very particular about coloring in the lines and being in the lines, this perhaps is not your technique. But if you like sort of the watercolored, artistic sort of look, this is awesome. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun. You can layer it up or just add a little bit of color, whatever you like. Lots of options. So there is the first piece, and I'm going to bring in a crushed curry card base, standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. And here's, do you ever get something on your cardstock and you can't get it off? And you go, oh, what am I going to do? It's right almost in the middle. I've spoiled it. Use it for card base. And put a whole layer right over top of this. No one is ever going to know. But before I put this down, look, I should have done my leaves with mossy meadow. But that's okay. This will work. This is mossy meadow and gold trim is what it's called. It's only a 1/4 inch wide, but it's, can you see on camera? It's got gold in it and mossy meadow, and it's lovely. So I'm just going to cut this a little bit longer than my card. We don't. And I am going to just put it down probably about here. And then I'm going to put my sentiment right over top of it. So here's some of the ephemera. So you would get half a package, and they're not all here. If you place an order of $65 or more by next Wednesday, August the 6th, along with the card kit and the tutorial, I will send you half a package of this mix and match ephemera. So you get 1 sheet of the white sentiments on black, and then there's 2 different sheets of black sentiments on white. This Merry Christmas settlements right there. You can't see them all because I've used some of them. I don't know what I want this. I don't want, oh, I could do Easter, although it's a crazy time for that. I could do best wishes. Oh, look, we have a black best wishes and a white best wishes. Don't know what I want. I don't want Father's Day. We have a great big thinking of you. That's kind of lovely. Maybe that one. Well, thanks, Barb. I'm glad you think it's pretty. It's the folder does all the heavy lifting, really. It's such an incredible embossing folder. But what do we think about this? That might work, eh? Look at that right over there. Wouldn't that make you happy if you got that in the mail? Just, happy mail. So what I'm going to do, I am going to grab my glue dots and I'm going to put one right about here just to hold this in place on the front of my card. And you may ask why I haven't put it in the center. It would sort of make sense that you would stick that down the middle, but sometimes, and this one you don't really seem to notice it, but sometimes when you do that with ribbon, you can see it through the ribbon because it makes a bit of a lump. Not a big lump, but a little bit of a lump. And so to be safe, I put it somewhere where I know it's going to get covered up. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm getting this straight. Pull it around the back and give it a press down. There we go. Now that is secured. I'm going to come in with my liquid glue because this is embossed. And as I mentioned off the top, it's fairly deep embossing. So we just want to make sure our adhesive is going in all the nooks and crannies and it's going to hold this down. I have more glue. That one is getting low. Hopefully I have enough for 4 cards. I don't, the other one's close at hand. Okay, I'm just going to stick that right down on there. And then I am going to little bit of glue coming out the edge there. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up. Now I think I have some, yes, I do have some narrow ones here. Because I knew with using little ephemera like this, I might need some narrow dimensionals. I have, oh, I did have just a couple more there, but we'll use them on the next. Okay, this on here. Right there. And then we will just finish it off with oops, a few gems. I have these gold ones we could add. Pick up on that gold. These are brand new. These are called flower accents. I have not used them. I haven't even opened them yet. So what I like to do with my gems is cut the package along the edge here. And then you can just slide the gems in and out. So it's easy to get them out, easy to get them back in, but they stay protected. Sometimes it's not easy to get them back in. They give you grief. Yes, gem time. Oh, Barbara, you know me so well. Okay. Yes. It's okay to be predictable when it's with good things. Like, bling. You got to do it, right? There we go. Okay, card number 1, complete. Now watch, let's see if I can get this in. Sometimes what I do is I open it up the first time and I pull it down and make it just a little bit larger, but that one went in quite easily. So for now, we're good. Okay, I might use those yet. Going to set him up there and we will move on to card number 2. Okay, so this time I have a piece of gorgeous grape. This is also 5 1/4 by 4, and I have embossed it. Oh, oh, it's very different from, I was gonna say it's similar. It's exactly the same, only different. It's totally different. Okay, I'm going to bring in Whisper White. Okay, it's a craft ink that we have, our Whisper White. If you were at the global retreat last weekend, we used white ink. And we don't use white ink very often. It's actually probably not even called Whisper White anymore. This is an older ink pad. And our white now is called Basic White. But Anyway, it's white ink. So I'm just going to come in. I'm going to come in a little bit above my card, and I'm just going to drag this down my cardstock. Okay, now this is where it gets a little tricky. You might get a little bit inky. I'm going to come this time, and oh, it's moving on me a little bit. I'm going to drag it down this part. Okay. I kind of leaned into it a little bit there, but I think we'll be okay. We'll come over here. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? It's such a cool look. Uh, it's so cool, in fact, that I had to do another one. So this is real red. This time, maybe I'll go across. It might be a little easier to hold. I don't know. So sooner or later, you have to touch the area where you're inking. You might get a little inky doing this. Sign of a crafter, right? Inky fingers. There we go. There it is on real red. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. I'm going to set these aside because this is craft ink. It does take a few minutes to dry. Okay, so we're going to leave those. And I did one earlier today, so it would have time to dry. This is Berry Burst. Okay, Berry Burst cardstock. And I've come in with the white again. So I did that just so it would have time to dry. Because I know this ink does take a little bit longer than our regular inks to dry. Okay, standard size card base again, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25, and this is thick basic white. So if you place an online order of $45, this would be in your kit. If it's a $65 order or more, then you will also get half a pack of that ephemera that we are using. So for this one, I didn't plan any other embellishment things. So maybe we'll put a larger sentiment on this one, like this. And then we can come in with, I don't have Berry Burst ribbon, but I have colors that could coordinate. I have green and pink, and that does not coordinate. Okay, so Berry Burst and Pretty in Pink ribbon is not a good combination. However, we have lots of other choices. And somewhere, oh, look, we have gold. Okay, gold goes with everything. And it's sheer and it's lovely. So I think that's probably where we're headed. And you know what? I am just going to add, so the ephemera is great because it's there and it's ready and you have all sorts of sentiments and you have all sorts of fonts, different fonts in the pack. And you can do things. I had a card, one of the cards that I shared at the global retreat, you may recall if you were there, had open letters and I colored them. But this one, I've got out a sponge dauber and I've got my Berry Burst ink. And look, I am just going to add a little bit of Berry Burst ink to the edge of this. You could layer it up as well if you wanted. But then I would have had to have planned that. Is probably the bottom line to that wherever that thought was going. But anyway, this will work too, right? Sponging just gives a little definition to your edge. And we'll pop that up and then it will be edged. Silver ribbon. You think silver would be better, Barb? So this was gold, and you could be right. I did look at the silver first. My silver ribbon is narrow, but it might work better than gold. You don't see the gold a whole lot on this berry burst. Okay, let's put it together and then we will make a decision. But I think you're on to something there, Barbara. Okay. Liquid glue again. Hopefully I want it to stick, but hopefully it doesn't ooze out the edges again this time. So setting that down on there. The lid on that so I don't squeeze it and get it anywhere that I don't want it. Turn it over and give it a nice press. And while I'm here, we'll just flip this guy over and then we can put some dimensionals onto him while he is sitting here. Put lots of dimensionals on here. I'm doing there's a Bancroft Art Guild show and sale this weekend. It's 2 full days, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Last year, it was hot, 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 hot. So this year is not supposed to be as hot. It's just supposed to be lovely. So that will be a good thing. You don't see the gold the same through the camera. Okay. No, you're right. You don't see it the same in person either. It's not the gold. Silver is more solid. The gold is it's mesh. It's called mesh ribbon. Look at that. Gold mesh ribbon. Now, when I tie a bow, you would see it a little bit more, but I think you're right. And you know what I should have done here? Maybe just come up through this like that. But I did not. So you know what? We're going with a bow. We'll make it a fairly decent size, though. Maybe that would be a good plan. Because it's thin ribbon, but see what we see. Give it a little poof up there. If I put that on there, I think you will see it okay. It's a little thinner than I would have liked, but it's what I have in silver, and I totally agree with Barb's comment that the silver is perhaps better than the gold, maybe just below the sentiment. I think then the bow will poof up into the sentiment and but not getting it. Okay, blue dots. Blue dots are the best way to attach your ribbon. Now, because this is a narrow ribbon, the knot is not, it's not really large, not quite as large as my glue dot. So I'm just going to use my thumbnail and roll that glue dot a little bit so that it is a little smaller and doesn't stick out past the edge of my knot, making my card sticky. There we go. And, we can still, it's allowed. You can have ribbon and gems. There is no rule that says you cannot. So I put these on a card earlier and it's like, oh, I haven't used these in ages. Don't even know what they're called. Adhesive backed sparkle gems. Not positive you can still order these, but I still have some. And if you still have some, you could put them onto your cards because they are sparkly and fun. There we go. Card number 2. I would say quick and easy. And it is relatively quick. It is easy to put together, but you do need to allow a little bit of drying time for your ink. Looking over at my other card, I'm not positive there. quite dry yet. So, um, yes, you do. You always need gems, Barb. You know how it goes. There we go. Card number two. Just a little peek there. Okay. Next card. This is just going to see if see my my white ink on there is not entirely dry. Look, now I have inky fingers. It's all good. Okay, bringing in my scrap paper again. This is Blackberry Bliss, but it is our two-tone cardstock, and not sure whether you'll be able to see. Look quick. Whoop. Does that look darker? This is the darker side. Don't know whether you could detect that or not. Dark, whoop, light. So it is a lighter side. If you have been with Stampin' Up! For a while, you may think that this looks kind of like rich raspberry, and you would be correct. It does. um, Piece of sandpaper, and then this is just a chunk of wood. Cottage Reno. Just to make a block, and I am sanding the paper. So our two-tone cardstock is white paper that is inked on one side with a dark tone of ink and inked on the other side with a lighter tone of the same color. So when you sand it or cut it or even just emboss it, where it tears, it leaves it has a white core, and that's what's coming through when I've sanded this. So you can sand this as much or as little, and you can sand either side. Now, I tried sanding the back on another piece that I had done, and it didn't really, to me, it didn't look as good. It does sand, but there's just so much texture. It didn't reach a whole lot of places. So you can see there is some white showing up behind, but you lose a lot of the detail. So that's why I went with this side. And now you might also be able to see, do you see what looks like a bit of a mess here? That is actually paper dust. So it is a little bit messy. So I tell people we did this at Card Club in July, and we did put down scrap paper to catch the dust. So do that. Just a little bit of a flick off, and then I am just going to gather this, and I did get a little bit on my workspace. Do that. And we're just going to put this into the trash bin right now so that we don't get all of this everywhere. We only get some of it in some places. Okay, so what happened to my card base? Did I have a card base for this one? Oh, I did. Um, so I was demonstrating this one to show you one, but I actually had, because I had sanded one earlier, and so you get to see two, and I'll finish this one off. This is Blueberry Bushel, and this might be the one that I sanded on the back. Yes, this one I sanded on the back as well. So you can see it doesn't, it's just not as fun. Now I sanded this one a little bit more, and it's not bad, but the front is, it's more fun when it's sanded. So, Blueberry Bushel, 5¼ by 4. And again, you will receive this in your kit, your card kit, and it will already be embossed for you. Okay, this is the new cloud cover, which is one of our new in colors. Standard card base, 8½ by 5½, scored at 4¼ Okay. And then I have a strip of cloud cover that is, it's just over 1/2 inch. A lot of our paper is, how does this go? I guess it is it's 8½ wide, but it seems to be a generous 8½ lately. whoever is making our paper. So that's just a smidge over. So when you cut your two pieces to be 4 inches to get sort of standard layering and stuff, you're left with just a little bit more than half an inch. And I just figured I would go with it. Okay, so I'm going to cut a strip of this. I think I'm going to go 4 1/4. I'm going to go right out to both edges. And I do have my cutter here. It's Lord only knows why I didn't cut this before. And you could just adhere it and then trim it afterwards. That might be the safest thing to do. But we'll be brave and chop it off and hope for the best. You know. Okay, I am going to put this, I could do it to 4 inches. Would it be better if I did it to 4 inches? Let me just think about this for a moment here. I'm not positive it matters. I think 4 1/4 is fine. I don't think you'll really notice because my strip is the same color as my card base. Probably way overthinking that one. Okay. So for anyone that had seen my July Beautiful Blues workshop and was considering it, two scrapbook pages, no, two double layout scrapbook pages and alternate cards along with some of the kit cards. That's the full option. And or you could get just the scrapbook layout or just the cards or just the tutorial. So many options. Anyway, it was very popular in July, and so I have brought it back for the month of August, and an email went out about that 2 days ago. But I thought I'd updated everything and I had not. And so when you clicked on the link to register, it said that registration was closed and it was no longer available. So I have fixed that. So it is there now. And you do not need to use the registration link. You can just email me and pay by e-transfer. But if you click on the registration link, you can see all the options for the kits that are available as well as add-ons. You would need to purchase 12 by 12 white willow cardstock on your own because I cannot mail that. That is, if you live in Canada, you cannot mail 12 by 12 for any reasonable price. There is just no reasonable price. I think I can get I don't know that I don't think I can pop this up on dimensionals. I could try. It's very tiny. Let's just see. Okay. Okay, it works. It's a little narrow, but we can make it work. Oops. Okay, I think it's all hidden. You won't see that. Anyway, yes, so that is out there again, and the links have been fixed so you can see the different options. And as I say, you don't have to register through that. You can just email me and pay by e-transfer. That is certainly an option, but you couldn't even see what everything was before. So I've redone that and it's out there. It's a beautiful kit and I was really pleased with the projects that we created. We really I partnered with Rosemary Massaro from Florida and we had so much fun creating it and we just hoped that everybody would really like the kit. And so far the feedback has been that everybody does really like the workshop and they're enjoying the projects. So Okay, this bow seemed to work earlier today, but now it's just hogging space. I need to make sure it goes under the sentiment. There, we'll just put them up a tiny bit and then it's okay. But again, we need some bling, don't we? I don't know. I use blueberry bushel and cloud cover. So these are cloud cover gems. Sure, I think they will work on there. Okay, check this out. There we go. And there you have card number 3. Okay, one more. Here we go. Okay, so for this one, we have a piece of basic white. And I don't know whether I cut this one down yet. No, I have not. This one, because I ended up cutting it down and doing a layer. So this is going to end up being 5, no. Yes, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I have that right? I think I do. 5, yes, 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, and what we're going to do for this one is come in with a whole bunch of sponge daubers. She says, lining them all up here. Where did I put my I ended up using, and I don't know that I needed to, but I may want to again. Early espresso. Okay. I need to move a few things out of my way here. Are getting a little bit busy. Okay. So for this one, I'm using sponge daubers, and I'm just going to add color to the whole embossed image. So this is soft sea foam, which I'm going to use for the leaves. And I'm just going to go and add color to them. I started with a light color here. I don't know that it matters, but I just wanted to get my light green down rather than having it possibly pick up darker ink from something later. So that was my thought. And I've not done this part on others. I sort of colored this as if it were sunflower, but I think it's actually you know, the bottom of the leaf part that holds the flower in till it blooms, the bud part. I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is, I've now made it green. So there. Okay. And then I came in with Cajun Craze to do my flower centers. And am I out of, well, not quite, but almost, aren't I? We don't have a lot of flower centers on this card, in this piece, do we? And then Timid Tiger for my sunflower petals. And I didn't do the whole, oh, look, here comes my helper, Oscar. Nobody needs to see your back all over, and nobody needs to see your butt. So down you go. He hasn't actually made an appearance in videos for quite some time, so I guess we were due. Hey, so I don't know whether you can see this on camera, and it doesn't look as bad as I originally thought. But originally I thought it looked, I didn't like the Cajun craze beside the Timid Tiger. So then I came in with my early espresso and just added a little bit of that. So it's still a little bit Cajun crazy. It's not dark early espresso. It's kind of got a little bit of both of them, but it just, to me, it just looked better that way against the Timid Tiger. The Cajun craze is, it is like a burnt orange, but just I didn't like it. So there we go. Okay. I am going to stop there because you don't need to watch me do this whole thing. Oh, no, I'm going to show you one more thing that I did. So with my orange, I then came in with Darling Duckling, and you can use any colors for this on your card. You don't have to use the colors that I have used. Added Darling Duckling to the edges of the petals, mostly. Okay. And then I came back with my Timid Tiger and just went back over it a little bit to blend the Timid Tiger out into the yellow a bit. Just so it didn't look quite like, you know, one color starts the next and stops, and then the next one starts. It kind of blends a little bit. Okay, so that was the other part that I wanted to show you to that. So most of it is done, but I will stop there just because this is getting a little bit long, and I will show you that I have completed one. Okay, so you can see I've darkened down the centers with my early espresso, and I have pulled my orange out into the yellow. So the Timid Tiger gets pulled into the Darling Duckling after it's done. This, as I said, was 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then I have a piece of Timid Tiger cardstock that is 5 1/4 by 4. So it's going to be, yes, Oscar making an appearance. Anyway, this is going to be a narrow layer. I've been using my liquid glue anyway because it's embossed, but embossed and narrow border, you definitely want your liquid glue in case you need to just smush it around a little bit and get it into place. Just gives you that moment to make sure you've got everything lined up the way you want it. I'm going to turn it over, give it a nice press. Okay. And then we have a Darling Duckling card base, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Nice burnish. And what I thought I had something else, but I don't recall. And before I put that down on there, I'm just going to, let's let's find us a sentiment. So here's the best wishes that we set out before. This one might look better with a black one. What else do we have in black? Sending hugs. Thank you. Maybe thank you. Happy New Year. So could do congratulations. I want happy holidays, and I don't want sorry. Oh, sometimes maybe I should be, but how about sending hugs? Oh yeah, yep. I just, it just kind of you put it down and it looks right. So let's do that. Do that as soon as we find our tape runner, which we moved out of the way. Okay. Okay, put this down on here. Oh, pop this up with dimensionals. It's okay. Like more little ones. Ooh, oh, couple. I only need a couple more. Do I? Oh, no, only had one more. Scissors. I'm just gonna cut this so we have this little notch. Ooh, oh, we go. And just throw one more down there. So we had tons of dimensionals on this piece, but it's got a number of extended bits, so we will know that everything is going to stick down well. And I'll put that right there. There we go. And then we have, these are the in color gems. 25 to 27 in color flat pearls in all of the in colors. Aren't they pretty? Woo! I just like looking at them all. I just want them all on my card, but that doesn't really make any kind of sense. So we'll just put a few on in an appropriate color. Here. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, I have made a big mess. 4 cards we have made. Actually, just before I set these all out, I'll put them up there a little bit. I have a few others that I wanted to share with you. These are ones that that didn't make the cut, shall we say. So this one, kind of interesting. This is a little bit of a fun thing. This is our iridescent treat bags. So these are just treat bags. They are food grade, and they're pretty. Like look at their. Can you see? It's hard to see all the colors, but they are iridescent. They're mostly pink, pinky purple, but they shine a little bit green. They've got sort of a streaky look to them. Anyway, they are treat bags. What fun, you say. However, you can put a piece of cardstock inside and then you use your heat tool and it kind of shrink wraps it. So you get this a little bit of a crinkly look as well. And then I ran it through the embossing folder. So it's like, wow, that's a lot of stuff going on. The problem with it for a card class is that if I'm going to emboss this for you, you have to emboss it with the shrink wrapping already done, and so there wasn't really any card left for a card class, unless you're doing it in person, and this is online. So he didn't make the cut for the class, but it's still a pretty card. A little bit hard to see on camera, I think, but it is lovely in person. And there's those black gems that I mentioned earlier. And then I wanted to show you something else you can do with your embossing folder is you can ink the embossing folder. So you put your ink, use um, your ink pad upside down, put ink all over your embossing folder, add your cardstock and run it through. And then you get something like this. This is inked on what is the back. And if you're wondering how to tell the front from the back of an embossing folder, here's the embossing folder. And on one side, there is the Stampin' Up! Logo and a line. So this line you can use to get your paper straight. The logo is just, it's always on the side that is intended to be the front. Doesn't mean you can't do it the other way around, but Stampin' Up! Intended this to be the front. This is the embossed side, and this is the debossed side, so it's pushing the paper up. This is pushing the paper out. um, this pushes the paper in on the back. So I put ink on here. I laid my card stock down, closed it up, ran it through, and this is what you get when you put ink on this back part. Okay? Kind of an interesting, cool look. When you put ink on the front part, you're obviously going to get something different, similar to how the sanding, right? The front and the back are different. So there is what you get when you put the ink on the front. So back, front, back, front. Two different looks, both kind of cool. And this would look different with different colors, inks on different colored papers. There's only a gazillion combinations that you could do, right? This is Secret C on cloud cover cardstock. I did them the same so that you could see the differences, but that's what that is. And then the last one was my first crack at this card. But I used Secret C for the centers. And when I just had this embossed piece with the ink on it, the Secret C just, it didn't work. It really didn't. And that's why I went to the Cajun Craze, and it was better, but not quite right. And then I put the Early Espresso over it, and I thought, yes, I like that. But I didn't like this one. But then, of course, it sits there and you think, oh, you poor neglected piece of cardstock. You have to be a card. You deserve to be a card. So I did a Secret C border, put it on soft sea foam, and added some Secret C gems. And I love it. It pulled it together as it wasn't when it was just this embossed piece sitting with the color on it. So I guess my message is don't give up on your perceived failures. Play with it a little bit. Let it sit. Put some different colored cardstock behind it and see what it does for it. I didn't know whether to do this card base in, I think I tried Timid Tiger, and it worked. It was a very different look, but something about the soft sea foam just kind of said, yes, that's what it should be. But give your eye and your brain a chance to catch up with your creativity. So don't throw your perceived failures away right away. Let them sit and, play around with them a little bit because they might turn into something that you do really like. But I'd already created the other one. So this is the card from the class. So here again is the 4 cards from this class. Does that all get in? Mostly all in the camera view. And again, you have from now until next Wednesday, August the 6th, to place an order in my online store. And if you do that, if you place any order, I will send you the tutorial as my thank you. If your order is $45 or more, and it's not hard to do, is it? I will send you the kit to make the 4 cards along with the tutorial. So you will have all the pieces cut for you, and then you just get to do all the inking and the fun bits. And if your order is $65 or more, I will also send you half a pack of ephemera, and you can play with that as well. So all of these sentiments, uh, they're all from the 3 sheets, so you'll have those to play with as well. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I've had a wonderful time creating these cards for you. I hope you like them, and I love when you hang out with me. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to crafting with you again really soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.